Dear friends, after listening to this story, you will have tears in your eyes. A poor child wrote a letter to Allah. "Oh Allah, I need some food for my mother and a pair of clothes for myself." Then who read this letter in the name of Allah? And what miracle happened to this child? Let me tell you. In a small village, there was a madrasa where children used to come to memorize the Quran. In a corner of the madrasa, a poor child named Hassan was sitting. His clothes were torn and old. His innocent face was sad. Meanwhile, one child pushed Hassan and said, "Hey, my friend, your clothes are very strange. Have you come to study in the madrasa or to work at a tea house?" Another child shouted, "Our father gives us everything. Where is your father?" The third child continued to beat him. "Oh, I forgot your father is dead." Hassan's helplessness was so evident that he stood silently. Tears welled up in his eyes, but he could not say anything. The teacher of the madrasa, who was a kind-hearted person, did not say anything, but his heart was filled with sorrow. I felt sad. Hassan sat quietly against the wall, his head bowed, wiping away his tears. By that time, the madrasa was over. Hassan wiped his eyes and walked towards home. Hassan's house was an old, dilapidated hut. Inside, his widowed mother was baking bread on the stove, but there were signs of fatigue and hunger on her face. When Hassan reached home, he saw that his mother was fasting, but there was nothing to eat at home. A half-burnt piece of dry bread was placed on the stove. Hassan said to his mother, "Mom, all the children in the madrasa are wearing new clothes." Mother smiled and said, "Inshallah, son, you will definitely get new clothes," but deep down she knew that this was impossible. Hassan fell silent, but there was disappointment on his face. It was time for iftar. Hassan's mother secretly started giving food to Hassan instead of eating herself, but Hassan saw that her mother was sleeping hungry even though she was fasting. Then it was midnight. Hassan opened his eyes and saw his mother crying at the prayer. I saw her saying, "Oh God, give my son happiness, make his Eid good, give my child what I couldn't give him." Hassan started sobbing even more after hearing his mother's prayer, but he couldn't see his mother crying. Hassan quickly took a paper and a pen and went to the corner of the room and sat down. Then he started writing slowly. "Oh God, all the children have good clothes. I also want new clothes. Everyone has iftar. There is nothing in my house. My mother goes to bed hungry every day. She lies to me that she has eaten, but I know that she has not eaten. Oh God, I'm not asking you for anything more. Just give me a pair of clothes and something to eat for my mother on Eid. Amen." With tears in his eyes, Hassan took the letter and fell into prostration. Hassan's tears were flowing, but there was hope in his heart. He was thinking that if no one was listening, then Allah would hear him. When he left for the madrasa in the morning, he went to the gate of the mosque. He put the letter down and then went out of the mosque door. He hoped that maybe someone would bring him something today. His face was innocent but hopeful, as if his prayer would be accepted at any moment. Hassan started walking towards the bazaar. There were many shops decorated with beautiful Eid clothes, shoes, and toys everywhere. Children were standing with their parents, celebrating and buying new clothes and toys. Hassan was standing to one side, watching all this. His eyes sparkled, but when he saw his torn slippers and worn-out clothes, the sparkle went out. For a moment, Hassan gathered courage and stood near a shop where a beautiful white kurta was hanging. He innocently asked the shopkeeper, "Uncle, how much is this kurta?" The shopkeeper laughed heartily after seeing Hassan's old, dirty clothes. "Son, this is none of your business. Go ahead, Hassan." He shyly backed away. His eyes filled with tears, but he just kept trying and hiding. He went to the madrasa. In the madrasa, Hassan was sitting in class, but his mind was elsewhere. A child asked Hassan, "Oh, poor man, what new outfit are you wearing on Eid? You won't wear old clothes there." Another child laughed and said, "It seems that Allah has not heard his prayer." All the children laughed out loud. Hassan was listening silently. He was looking at the ground with his eyes down, twisting his fingers. Hassan's teacher was also watching all this, but he was unable to say anything. Tears welled up in Hassan's eyes. He said in his heart, "Maybe Allah has not read my letter, or maybe I'm not a good child." Thinking this, he went home when the break was over. Hassan came in and saw that his mother was sitting wrapped in an old sheet. Perhaps she was very tired from the weakness of fasting. He asked, "Mom, what will you eat today?" Mom said with a smile, "Son, first perform ablution, then we will see." As soon as Hassan went to perform ablution, his mother secretly put her handkerchief over her eyes and started crying because there was nothing for iftar. When the time for iftar came and Hassan woke up, he started to lift his face with joy as if a miracle might happen. But only a piece of dry bread and water was placed in front of his mother. Hassan looked at his mother and immediately understood that there was nothing left for him. His mother forced a smile and said, "Son, eat. I'm not hungry." Hassan silently drank the water and got up with tears in his eyes. He was thinking in his heart, "Oh God, when will you hear my prayer? When will my mother be happy?" Meanwhile, he went to a corner and sat down. Then he started crying as he wrote the letter, fell into prostration and prayed, but sleepiness overwhelmed him. His mother came to him and saw Hassan lying unconscious on the ground. She was frightened and started picking him up and holding him to her chest and started crying. "Oh Allah, in the trial of my child, have mercy on him." When morning came, Hassan was getting ready for the madrasa, but when he saw his mother, he stopped. His mother looked very weak. She was sitting by the stove with difficulty and her face was yellow. Hassan secretly saw that there was nothing to eat in the house today either. His mother forced a smile and said, "Son, go to the madrasa. One day you will become a scholar." Hassan shook his head, but something else was going on in his heart. While walking on the road, he changed his mind. "If I work today, maybe I will earn a little money and my mother will be able to get something to eat." Instead of going to the madrasa, he went to a market where laborers were working. There was a lot of noise and people were coming and going. The shops were open, and the workers were carrying stones and goods. Hassan stood in a shocked manner and was daring to ask for work from someone. Then he went to a shopkeeper and said, "Uncle, give me some work. I will do anything." The shopkeeper started laughing. "This work is not up to you. You're too old to play. Go and play." Hassan also went to others, but everyone started ignoring him. Then he did not know that now he was going to meet the cruel man of the time. Finally, a harsh and rude man started looking at Hassan. His name was Kaleem, who was a very cruel and merciless man. Kaleem stared at Hassan and said, "Oh boy, you have to work." Hassan quickly shook his head. "Yes," Uncle Kaleem said angrily. "Then here, pick up these sacks and put them in the warehouse behind." Hassan's labor had now begun. Hassan started carrying big sacks with his small hands. He got wet in the rain. The heat was intense. His innocent body was tired in the sun. He was fasting from above, but he did not stop. Work was being done continuously. Sometimes the sack would become so heavy that he would fall down. But Kaleem shouted angrily, "You incompetent! Are you here to work or play? Get up quickly." Hassan quickly got up and started working. Time passed, and evening came. Hassan was tired and exhausted. His courage was failing. He went to Kaleem to get the money. He walked to Kaleem with his shaky feet and said, "Uncle, my money." Kaleem laughed contemptuously and angrily said, "Money? Which mountain have you broken? Get out of here, Hassan." He looked at Kaleem in surprise. "Uncle, I worked all day." Kaleem's eyes were filled with anger. "Get out of here now, or he will beat you up." Tears welled up in Hassan's eyes. He folded his hands and said, "Uncle, just give me a little. My mother is fasting. I want to take something to eat." Kaleem didn't care. He pushed Hassan away angrily. Hassan's heart was broken. He took out a piece of paper again and wrote another letter. He wrote on the paper with tear-stained eyes, "Oh God, if you haven't read my letter, then this is the last time. I am writing. I am very tired. My mother sleeps hungry. I work, but people cheat me. I cannot go to the madrasa. My clothes are torn. Everyone makes fun of me. Just look at me. Just do something miraculous once. Otherwise, I don't know what will happen. I had written so much and kept it in the mosque. I thought to myself, if Allah has not heard me now, then perhaps he will never hear me. The next morning, in the interior of the mosque, where an elderly man, Abdul Rahman Sahib, had come to pray, Abdul Rahman Sahib was sitting in the corner of the mosque after the prayer. His eyes fell on the ground and fell on a crumpled piece of paper. He was surprised and picked up the paper and started reading it. As he read it, his hands started shaking, tears started flowing in his eyes, his heart started beating. He kept reading the letter over and over again, and questions were arising in his heart. Who wrote this letter? Who is this innocent child who is crying out to Allah so much? He said to himself, if Allah has shown me this letter, it means that I have to do something. They went to the Imam of the mosque and asked Malvi Sahib, do you know of any orphan child who is in great trouble? The Imam started thinking and said sadly, there are many poor children, but I don't know about this letter. Suddenly, Abdul Rahman Sahib reached a laborer's hut where Kaleem, the same cruel man, was sitting. Abdul Rahman Sahib asked Kaleem, is there a child working here? Is there a child who is very poor? Kaleem laughed and said in a sarcastic tone, yes, there was a poor child. Yesterday he came to ask for a little, but I pushed him away. Abdul Rahman Sahib's heart ached. Where does this child live? Kaleem shrugged his shoulders and said, I don't know, but he seemed very poor. Abdul Rahman Sahib asked some other people in the market. Finally, an old man told him, yes, I know of an orphan child who goes to a madrasa. He is very poor. Abdul Rahman Sahib became restless and tears came to his eyes. This must be him. Allah showed me the way. He decided to go to a madrasa. Meanwhile, Hassan was still worried and still thinking. It was as if Allah had not heard his prayer. The mother placed her hand on Hassan's head and said, son, be patient. Allah tests you, but he never leaves anyone alone. Hassan was silent, but disappointment was growing in his heart. The next day, Hassan left for the madrasa, but on the way, the same children started making fun of him. Oh, poor man, what happened to your letter? Allah did not answer you. Hassan listened to him silently and moved forward, but there were tears in his eyes. As soon as they entered the madrasa, Abdul Rahman Sahib asked the Tarrant Imam Sahib, do you know me? Meanwhile, Hassan's mother was weak and lying on the bed at home, and Hassan was sitting next to her, crying in distress. Hassan touched his mother's vagina, and her vagina was burning. She was in a fever. Hassan was frightened and said, Mom, get up and drink some water. Mom opened her eyes with difficulty and said, son, don't worry about me. God is watching. Hassan's heart trembled. He ran out very quickly to get help from someone, but no one in the neighborhood was ready to help him. Hassan started knocking on every door. Can anyone bring medicine for my mother? But everyone started making excuses. Our situation is not good either. It is the month of Ramadan. We have to arrange for Sari ourselves. Hassan sat helplessly near a wall. There were tears in his eyes. Hassan started thinking, if no one is listening, I will go to the mosque and pray. He started running towards the mosque, but when he reached there, he was shocked. Hassan was standing at the door of the mosque, and they had come to look for Abdul Rahman Sahib inside. Instead of going inside, Hassan stood aside, while Abdul Rahman Sahib, Imam Sahib, was asking about Hassan. Abdul Rahman Sahib said, where does this child live? I want to find him quickly. Imam Sahib said, he hasn't come yet, but if you go to his house and look, you might find him. Hassan stopped at the door of the mosque for a while and prayed to Allah. Oh Allah, if help doesn't come today, then maybe I've lost. He started returning home with a broken heart. Meanwhile, Abdul Rahman Sahib and Imam Sahib decided to go to Hassan's house. Abdul Rahman Sahib and Imam Sahib reached Hassan's house and knocked on the door. There was a strange silence inside the house. After knocking for a long time, there was no answer. Abdul Rahman Sahib was worried. Maybe some trouble had come. Imam Sahib pushed the door slightly and looked inside. Inside, Hassan's mother was lying, unconscious on the bed. Abdul Rahman Sahib and Imam Sahib immediately ran inside and realized that the patient's condition was very bad. Imam Sahib quickly started pouring water, but she was not regaining consciousness. Abdul Rahman Sahib had tears in his eyes. He started thinking, "We are late. We have to call the doctor immediately." When Hassan reached his house, he saw from a distance that some people had entered the house. His heart started beating fast. He ran to the house and stopped at the door. He saw that Imam Sahib and a stranger, Abdul Rahman Sahib, were supporting his mother. His mother's condition was bad. Hassan started screaming in panic. Mother Abdul Rahman Sahib immediately turned around. Seeing Hassan, his eyes were surprised. Hassan ran like crazy to his mother, held her hand, and started screaming, "Mom, open your eyes. Look, I am awake. Mom, wake up." But even Mom's eyelids were not moving. Her lips had turned dry and yellow. Abdul Rahman Sahib started screaming from within, seeing Hassan's condition. He said to Imam Sahib in a trembling voice, "We are too late." Hassan started crying uncontrollably. His little body was trembling. Tears were not stopping from his eyes. Imam Sahib quickly told us to call him. "We have to take her to the hospital immediately, otherwise anything could happen." They quickly went out and called a stretcher and put her mother in it. Hassan sat down with her crying. There was only one question in his heart. "Oh Allah, will I lose my mother?" Hassan was now asking only one question to Allah. "Oh Allah, I have never asked you for much. I only asked for food and clothes for my mother. Am I such a bad child that you would take my mother away from me?" Abdul Rahman Sahib came to Hassan and placed his hand on his shoulder, but Hassan's tears did not stop. After a few moments, the doctor came out. His face was filled with deep seriousness. Hassan stood up with pride. His heart was beating loudly. The doctor said in a low voice, "Mother has become very weak. She has been hungry and sick for many days. Her body has become very weak. If she does not get good food and medicine immediately, the doctor's words will be incomplete." But Hassan understood how great the danger was. Only then did Abdul Rahman Sahib speak loudly. "I will pay whatever it costs. Just save his mother." Hassan looked at them in surprise, as if he couldn't believe it. Hassan was sitting next to his mother's bed in the hospital room. His mother was still unconscious, but she was breathing. Hassan was holding his mother's hand and praying with his eyes closed. "Oh God, you read my story. Didn't you hear me? Then heal my mother now. I can't live without her." Abdul Rahman Sahib was standing near the door, looking at this rickshaw. There were tears in his eyes. He was thinking in his heart, "I have never seen such a sincere prayer in my entire life. This child was really in trouble, and Allah made me his mother." The next morning, Hassan was still sitting holding his mother's hand. His eyes had turned red. Suddenly, his mother's fingers started moving. Hassan became alert. The mother slowly opened her eyes and said in a voice of help. Tears of joy came out of Hassan's eyes. "Mother, are you okay?" She started shaking her head and their faces, but for the first time, a little bit of light had returned to his life. Abdul Rahman Sahib smiled and went forward, placed his hand on Hassan's head and said, "Son, from today you are not alone. I have come to help you, and now your life is going to change." Hassan looked at him in surprise. "But who are you?" Abdul Rahman Sahib smiled and said, "I'm the one whom Allah has sent to answer your son." Mother slowly looked at Abdul Rahman Sahib and asked in a low voice, "Son, who is this?" Hassan said with shining eyes, "Mother, it is he."